Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fine episode of A Healthy Helping of all your martial arts, MMA, health, fitness, and motivational needs. Welcome to the groundbreaking, record-shattering, fuel-running show powered by the More of the Same Network in association with Anti-USW Productions, known worldwide as the one and the only, the Yin and the Yang. And as always, I am the former two-time USW heavyweight champion and lifelong martial artist, the Yin of the show, known as Anthony Chu, a.k.a. Chuzilla, the ultimate thriller. All muscle, no filler, baby. And on today's show, we will actually have another historical first. And the question is, will the champ compete one more time? We will give you the a healthy helping of Wrestle Kingdom 12. At the same time, a huge what the fuck is happening in the UFC once again. Victim of chewed out, fan mail, and a whole lot more. So we are ready to roll. But before we talk anything here, let me say this right now. Let me say to you that without the yin, there is no yang. Without the yang, there is no yin. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce the man who runs the navigational co-host chair. He is that guy. Yes, he is that guy, and I'm going to give him my proper introduction as I've done for the last 15 episodes. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, to start off episode 16. Yes, the song is back by popular demand. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? He is the network boasting, East Coasting, co-hosting, bread toasting, owner, ruler, advocate, and the guru of the More of the Same Network. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is Larry. Pro wrestling is real. People are fake. Mormon.
I like that. It's very, very true. I have to agree with that sentiment. What's going on? You do toast your bread, right? I do.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, of course you got to. Well, no. Oh, God. When I started living for 3 years from 2008 to 2011 in that I like New England, except for all the sports teams. They got good food up there. And they got good subs and or as we call them, heroes or hoagies or, oh, God, there's like 6 billion names for these things. They don't toast their bread up there.
Really?
I said, what?
That seems weird.
And you know, every time I ask for my bread toasted, people look at me like I have like 5 heads or something. Like, the hell's the matter?
That is odd.
Do people, you know, it's like unbelievable, man.
Well, I definitely like my bread toasted. Like I like my money and my women warm.
Wow. Coming from the businessman himself.
I'm very tired. Very tired.
You just came back from a New York Islanders game, am I correct?
I did. Actually, it was oh my gosh. We're recording this on Sunday. So the Islanders played the Devils, New Jersey, and it was a nail-biter to the bitter end.
Who won?
The Islanders came back from a 2-point deficit, tied it up, went into OT, and won in a shootout.
Wow!
Even the shootout went to like 4 or 5 shots per team. So,
oh, good grief!
Yeah, it was a good game.
Wow! For all you hockey fans out there, yes, we do respect the fact that hockey is a contact sport. The only problem is, I don't really know a whole hell of a lot about anything about concerning hockey. I know I like watching it. I know some of the premise of it, but I really don't know the players or the, you know.
Me and my dad are slowly learning as we go to these games. Slowly learning to figure it out.
What exactly possessed you guys to actually get season tickets?
Well, we got half-season tickets, but it's just, I don't know, it's how we are with a whim. I brought my dad to a game 2 years ago. He loved it. He's like, let's talk about getting season tickets. I was like, no, that's a lie. He goes, let's talk about getting some sort of like plan.
That's natural, folks. That's natural.
Like a mini plan or something, like a weekend plan or something like that, or like a 6-game plan.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, we can do that. But at the time, all they was selling were the full and half season tickets. So as we do, we're like, all right, let's do half season tickets. Kind of on a whim. Like, okay, so there we are, half season ticket holders.
Crazy, man, crazy.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Well, that's cool. Hey, look, you get father and son time, and you know what? Some of the listeners have been asking me, when are you and your dad going to debut on that cupcake show?
I forgot about that. You know, it's I don't know. It depends on when it airs. You know, I don't know if they're waiting for the end of the season or something, or it should be on Food Network. As soon as I hear anything, I'll let the people know. Because that's going to be the pilot episode. That's going to be the first episode of that show.
Well, that's going to be pretty awesome. I would like to actually see that. I can actually see you scarfing down multiple cupcakes. How many did you eat in that filming?
Not a lot. It was. What do you mean multiple cupcakes? What is that supposed to mean?
You can't tell me you don't like a good cupcake.
I mean, you know, if it's Misha Tate, yeah.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You son of a bitch! Your fucking segue game is just on point, man. And we haven't even started this podcast because the first thing that I want to address, yes, folks, my flag is at half staff. I don't mean it like that, okay? Ah, God. You know, I don't ask for much in life. I really don't. I'm a very simple man. I don't ask for a lot. And, you know, I saw on Instagram, and yes, I do follow her. Yes, Misha Tate, also known as Cupcake, in the UFC. Ah, God. You know, I don't ask for to win the Powerball. I don't ask to win the Mega Millions, although that would be nice because our podcast would be the number one show in the United States.
Imagine, that'd be awesome.
And possibly the world. Because I would invest a few $1 million in this podcasting network, awesome. And we would be blown up huge.
If I won Lotto, I would put so much into the show. Your pay would stay the same, but I would put so much into the show.
You know, we had a really good flow just now until you actually shut me down. You shut me down.
You know what? About?
I have a rule now. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
Oh, come on. Wait a minute. But
now, as I was saying, it breaks my heart. It just really does. Misha Tate announces that she's pregnant.
Is she really?
Yes.
Wow, man, boo.
And she's pregnant by some guy named Johnny Nunez, who's a former competitor of The Ultimate Fighter. I forgot what season. I don't give a shit. The point is, she announces her pregnancy.
Oh, man.
What the fuck? What the fuck, folks?
That's 9 months you're going to have to wait.
I'm happy for her, but you know what? Now I can't look at her the same because now all she's going to put up is, well, me and my pregnancy, me and my boyfriend or baby's daddy or whatever the hell. And I don't want to hear about it.
So annoying.
I just want to see her. I'm in love with her. Well, I'm sorry, Megan Martin, I still love you, but, you know, well, you know.
Yeah, it is very, look, it's. If anyone knows me, I'm not really a fan of children, and I find it so annoying. You're right when you know on Instagram, hashtag 13 weeks, hashtag 14 weeks. I don't care. That I honestly don't. And guess what? There's 3 point something billion people on this planet as we speak today. And the planet's been around for at least 2,018 years as far as mankind, depending on, you know, what you believe in, you know, longer than that. I don't – look, I'm sorry. I don't find, you know, the blossoming of motherhood to be a miracle. It's biology. You know – yeah, okay, I get it. Some people just can't, for one reason or another, medically or due to sickness or illness. Some people can't, you know, conceive or anything, which, you know, I'm sorry about that. But there are still other means, you know, adoption and things along those lines. So it's like, I just, and this is coming from me. This is not Anthony Chu's words. This is not that of the More of the Same or the Yin and The Yang podcast. This is myself, Larry Mormon. I just don't care. And for those 9 months, it's going to be very annoying.
Yeah. But, now wait a minute. If it was your own kid, or if it was somebody in your family.
I would be a lot more careful than that.
Right, but then, then you would care a lot more.
Oh, look, don't get me,
but,
well, no, I still don't want to hear about it. I love my godson, but at the same time, I get to keep him, I get to leave him at his house. At some point, I get to go home. So
I just think that with my nephew, when my sister-in-law was pregnant and I had my nephew, I was just really, really waiting because, my older nephew, his dad passed away about 10, 11 years ago, and I feel really bad that at that point, I didn't have the means to travel from New York to Maryland and back all the time just to look after him, and he's doing well for himself now. But, I really felt like, whatever it was that I didn't do for my older nephew, I'm trying to do for my younger one now, my younger nephew. And I love my older nephew. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's going to, he's doing well for himself. He's very successful academically, socially, on all aspects and everything like that. But I just felt like I missed a lot with him, and I miss him. I love him, and I really wish him well. That he's going to be halfway around the world in Australia. That he's going to school. So
wow.
Yeah. But he's all right now. But when my sister-in-law was pregnant with my nephew, I think the anticipation was more bothersome than anything else. It's just like I want him to come out already. He's like, oh my God, I wanted to hold him, and I love him. I love my nephew. But yeah, you're right. It's like I look at social media and it's just like, oh no, it's like another, celebrity or somebody else who's announcing their pregnancy. And I'm just like, I don't
Listen,
care.
We barely got enough mouths to feed on this planet anyway. Why bring another person into this weird, messed up world? That's me being me. Look, the sun is eventually going to supernova, and all this is going to be destroyed, and it's not going to mean a licking thing anyway. So,
well, thank you very much, there, Stephen Hawking.
No, hey, it's
I appreciate the
it's the truth.
Yeah. So, well, you know what, Misha Tate, I still have nothing but love for you. Johnny Nunez, fuck you. And, and I hope that she has a good pregnancy. It's as simple as that. And young one comes out all right. But, yes, folks, if you want me to be honest with you, I am hating on Johnny Nunez. Okay. I am hating on the fucking guy. But what can you do? Right. So, okay. Other than that, was your week all right?
Yeah, it was it felt like a long one. Come Thursday, man, it was just had a very, very long day Thursday. Pretty much Wednesday technically into Thursday, went about 26 hours, no sleep, and that completely threw off my sleep schedule. I'm still trying to get back into the thick of things as I get back to a normal work week. Beyond that though, I did get got some stuff done. Did some other recording. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, part of that 26-hour ordeal, just being up that long, I, did a live podcast on Facebook, which is getting a lot of praise. Also bought some cool retro gaming things, games, that is, like very special edition ones. And you'll hear all that on the Retro Gamers and the Better Half, respectively.
When you guys went live, here I have Frank cursing me out, calling me a moron, saying to me, how come you're not calling in? We're live. I'm like, I didn't know. Nobody says anything to me.
When did he say that to you?
I can show you the messages.
Oh, messages. Oh, that's different.
The Facebook messages. Why is it that nobody invites me to any of these production meetings?
To be fair, we weren't doing any call-ins, so...
Why is it that my fucking technical team back there can't get their shit together so I can know what the hell is going on within the network? Idiots.
The live stream was kind of last minute, but we will do it again down the road.
Okay. All right.
And I got another thing, which is good for one podcast, which would eventually be good for others. I will give a quick plug here that the Retro Gamers, or at least one half of them maybe, will be at the Aviator Retro Gaming Tournament and Expo over in Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, does this count as being a part of the, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back into her?
Slightly. I'll talk more about it at the end of the show, but what I want to say is we're going to have a table. We're going to have a booth at that show. Yep. And I'm still coming up with some things. It's going to be mostly retro gamers, but I will make sure to incorporate the yin and the yang and the better half.
Where is this? Well, actually, you know what? Let's save it for the end. We'll talk about
Just
that.
A little teaser.
Holy smoke.
A little accoutrement. A little suave, if you will.
There's another thing about the retro gamers I wanted to plug in the end, but
okay.
we'll talk about that for sure.
I want to know what you're plugging in the end.
Well, it ain't fucking Misha Tate, man.
Whoa! Well, if that was the case, you wouldn't be pregnant. Hey-oh.
When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Did I not say that already?
Damn, his hand is up.
Damn it. Ay. All right. So, speaking of women in the UFC, now let's be very careful about this one because I'm a little concerned right now. And by the way, I had a week that let's not even talk about because in all aspects of everything just wasn't good. By the way, this entire week, for those of you who don't live in the East Coast or in the Northeast, it was as cold as fucking Dixie Carter's tit. All right,
we got we had that the bomb cyclone that hit. How were you during the snowstorm?
Well, on Thursday I called up and said I'm not coming in. So
I'm surprised it was even open.
Right? Oh God! It's like
without going into detail.
Yeah, without going into detail, let's just put it this way: Cloverfield, Deep Impact, the day after tomorrow, and Godzilla can come through New York City, and they'll still want us to go in.
My place was open too, but I just happened to have already had the day off, which was weeks in advance, way before this.
Oh, so
cyclone.
Lucky, man. So lucky, And then I come in a little later on Friday just because of the roads and a lot of ice, and they, my township is one of the toughest and shittiest to work in and live in because they don't really take care of the roads all that good.
Really?
And then what they do is that they do the simple thing, which is block roads, and then you got to go navigate around. Might as well just fucking live in Leonia at that point.
Nice callback.
Hey, by the way, Leonia, I just want to say hi, guys, to all the lawmakers, not the citizens, but to all the lawmakers out there. Hi, how are you? Fuck you, if you hear this. So I still won't step into your goddamn city or township or whatever the hell. Kiss my ass. But yes, if you haven't noticed, I have a little pent-up aggression this week, right? Oh, and by the way, did I mention fuck you? Oh, yeah, okay. Well, but the reality of it is that, we got to be a little careful here because we don't want to say man or woman in this situation because apparently there's a headline that's being made by the Jackson/Winklejohn camp. That's the same camp that was Holly Holmes, or that still is Holly Holmes. And one of their social media guys or one of their employees made a really nasty comment about Cyborg Justino when she fought Holly Holm in the aftermath.
Really?
If you look at Twitter, one of the employees of Jackson Winklejohn camp basically said, that dude is tough as hell. His nose even bled.
Oh.
And so basically insinuating that Cyborg is a guy and saying that
baby.
And man, and no pun intended. That was really screwed up. I mean, now this is what bothers me. Okay? And this is I'm just going to address this right now. Let's bring out our favorite target on the show, at least my favorite target, which is Conor McJackass. Okay? So the UFC bans this Jackson Winklejohn camp employee from anything near. He cannot even get anywhere near the UFC and in any of the shows, in the buildings, the press conferences, anything, weigh-ins, nothing. He can't even buy. From what I understand, I don't even think the guy can buy a ticket as a fan, to be honest with you. Right?
Really?
Or something like that because and then that fucking slapstick Vince McMahon wannabe Dana White comes out and says, well, we don't condone this kind of behavior. And this is a very negative reflection towards mixed martial arts and the company. Number one, you don't represent all of mixed martial arts, number one. Number two is that, so you're telling me it's okay, and apparently the Jackson Winklejohn camp had a reason to do this because Cyborg was talking lots of shit about Home and her camp, so they decided to fire back. Now, whether it is messed up that he said what he said, so explain this one to me now. So you're saying a guy cannot make a quote like, oh, that dude was tough as hell, but yet we can have Conor McJackass run around talking like a pro wrestler, acting like a douche, which he is, all right? And you can have guys like that. You can have guys who act like a fucking moron. And like when there was a press conference with Jose Aldo where he stole Aldo's title and ran away with it.
Really?
Like, what kind of fucking fourth grade childish bullshit is that? But that's okay. But Dana White will condone that. That's okay. He will, that's not like that's not a disgrace to the company. Like if you look at any of the episodes of The Ultimate Fighter season anything, you have people acting crazy, acting stupid. It gives the company a very negative image, but that's okay. You can condone that. So what the fuck, Dana White? How come a guy can't make one simple sentence or two, and you're going to ban him and basically, pretty much outcast this guy from any UFC contact? Mm-hmm. But you have somebody like McGregor walking around and he does what he wants. It's basically the money then is what it comes down to.
That's, you're right. It's kind of like, yeah, it is. It comes down to money. There is nothing else to it.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It's really about the money because Conor McGregor draws lots and lots and lots of money. And even him, I don't even think he cares about the UFC, to be honest with you. If McGregor wanted to walk into Bellator in their next show and say, hey, I'm now an employee of Bellator, do you know how, Bellator will skyrocket?
Oh, yeah.
The guy has drawing value. I mean, I give him that, but still, it's Dana White, stop being a hypocrite, man. And you probably, if he ever heard this, he'll probably say, well, fuck you. Well, fuck you too. Fuck Dana White. Anyway, wow. I gave him I chewed him out, and then I gave him a thumbs up. Now I'm chewing him out again. Fuck him. All right. Now, okay. You want to feel old again, Larry?
Oh, man. I already feel old. Everything hurts.
Excellent. So, like I said, DDP Yoga, man. Bro, he's going to fucking, I'm telling you, one day somebody's going to knock on your door, and when you open it, he's going to diamond cutter you. I swear to God. Well, let's not get into that yet, okay? All right, so let's take a trip down memory lane of some movies that were done years ago. It is 2018, my friends. You cannot say 17 anymore. It is 2018, and there are some movies here, and I'm just going to name a few, not too many, that are done a decade ago or more.
Wow.
Now, you're going to find this really scary.
So
okay?
We're talking, 2008 and earlier?
So a decade ago, I was 31.
I was 27.
And 15 years ago, I'm 4 years older than you?
Yeah, I'll be 38 in March.
Okay. And 15 years ago, I was 26. Good memories. Are you ready?
Let's do it, brother.
Oh, God. So 10 years ago, I can't believe this. A movie called Ip Man came out with Donnie Yen.
What, the first one?
The first one was 10 years ago.
You know what?
Can you believe that?
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was older.
Really?
I did. Not much older, but older.
It is nuts, isn't it? 10 years ago, I was still living in Boston at that point, and I was just like, wow, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, man.
Good
gravy.
Man, that's a great movie. If you guys have not watched the movie Ip Man, It really is about the late, great Wing Chun master who not only is my teacher's father,
Really?
but yep, I come from the Ip Man lineage of Wing Chun. Ip Man is also Bruce Lee's teacher, his only formal martial art instructor.
Interesting.
Before Bruce Lee created Jeet Kune Do, which is the art of the intercepting fist. So that's a really great film. And by the way, all the moves that he does is all applicable.
Really?
In real life, yes. Which is what I love about all the 3 movies. And by the way, Ip Man 4 is coming out next year.
Wow.
They're actually filming it now, or it's in pre-production or something. But yes, if you look at the first one compared to the second and third one, all the techniques that Donnie Yen does within the movie is all applicable.
What? Interesting.
Yes, it is. It's one of those rare films that you can actually say that each movement that he does can all be used on a real life situation, which is pretty cool. Do you remember the movie Never Back Down?
Oh yeah! Wow, that's
10 years old.
Oh Lord,
2008, man. It's a movie that stars Sean Farris, Jaimin Honshu. There's a few other people I don't recall. I saw Never Back Down too, and that was 97 minutes of my life I can't get back. But yes, Never Back Down is the first movie, from what I can recall or understand, is the first movie that from beginning to end has mixed martial arts in it.
Really?
It was the very first one, yes. Just like how Only the Strong was made in 1993. And, basically Only the Strong, is the only movie from beginning to end that has the art of capoeira.
Interesting.
So until this day, it's still the only film in the Western world,
Okay.
But yeah, Never Back Down was a good movie. The training sequences were pretty awesome, actually.
It's been a while since I saw that.
Yeah. It is like a modern day. It is like a modern day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which Singh brother are you?
Giant Singh.
Giant Singh, yeah. That's nice. So it's like the giant machine?
Yeah. I was just watching the big event with that.
Oh, boy. All right. No, I'm saying it's a modern day Karate Kid.
Cool.
I had to say that fast before you say Maharaja again.
Hey, listen, I'm the comedic relief here.
Yeah, I'm sure. Last one, and I'm not going to give out too many because then I found out movies that they were 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 years ago. But I don't want to go down that list. So we'll do it week by week. The other movie I wanted to highlight, and you're going to really think this is insane, 15 years ago, the movie Ong Bak.
Really?
2003, man.
You know what? I thought that was a little sooner. I thought that was a little younger than that.
Yep.
Holy cow.
That was the first film that I think introduced the Western world to two things. It introduced everyone to traditional Muay Thai.
Okay, I can see that. Yep. I remember that.
Right, which is like very traditional Muay Thai. There's a word or a name for the predecessor of Muay Thai, and I forgot what it was called. And it also introduced people to Thai swords that are known as I could be wrong about this. I think it's called Krabi Krabang or something like that.
Okay.
Krabi Krabang, and it is. So there's a scene where he fights with these two swords that were taped up heavily. That were known. Krabi Krabang is the art of Thai sword fighting.
Okay.
So when I saw that movie was unreal. I mean, just the moves that he did. That guy was supposed to be massively. I mean, like he blew up, man. That was a great film. Tony Jaa, I think, can still go, but not the way he was 15 years ago.
I wow, you know what? Now that you're saying it, I'm starting to remember kind of like the advertising and the news behind it, like him. You know that scene. He starts wrapping his hand in the rope and everything like that.
Oh, you remember that?
I do. Yep. And that was probably his first. That was probably the first time we were introduced to Tony. How do you Ja or Ja?
Tony Jaa.
Ja. Do you know if he's been in anything else since then? I mean, like, do you like?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he has, but like anything of.
Well, he did Ong Bak 1, 2, and 3. Then he did The Protector and The Protector 2.
Okay.
And then he did several movies called The Bodyguard.
Okay.
Which is pretty interesting.
I will always love you. Oh, will always love you.
Guys in the back, please just delete that, edit that, please, because that was just noise pollution. I don't want to be fined by the FCC. All right.
Hey, listen, give me credit for going that long.
Wow. You want credit for that? You made William Hung sound like Luther Vandross.
Wow.
Fucking William Hung sounded like Barry White. God rest those two gentlemen. Just now. And by the way, the original style of Muay Thai is known as Muay Boran.
Okay.
Muay Boran. So it's Muay Boran. That is the predecessor to Thai boxing that you know of now. But anyway, which is originally known as ancient boxing.
Oh, pretty straightforward.
Yes, sir. So, oh, God, let's just pretend I didn't hear that just now.
Listen,
anyway.
I can sing it better now than the original singer can now.
Oh, now that's horrible. Horrible, horrible. You know, the opinions of Larry Mormon do not reflect the opinions of the More of the Same Network or the Yin and the Yang, especially his co-host Anthony Chu. Please send all complaint letters, comments to yinandyangpodcast at gmail.com. See, I can do those plugs too.
You're learning, my Padawan.
I can do those plugs too. See, you know what I mean? So yes. So I can't believe it, man. It's just insane, you know?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, on a much more hurtful side of things, let me just say that we found out through this past week the passing of Emily Dole, also known as Mount Fiji.
Oh, yes.
From one of the original Glow legends.
Yeah,
you know,
she was young, too.
Yeah, she was only 60 years old. They've never disclosed the reason, but she was in really bad health, and she was pretty much just, never really took care of herself. And
she was a larger woman, so.
Well, she was,
Yeah.
but she was only 5'10",
Really? Wow. That's my
Can
height.
you believe that?
Huh.
It's really odd. Because I'm 5'9.5", something like that, and yeah, man. I mean, but she was. If you look at the Glow documentary, the story of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, there was a whole segment that was built around her for a reunion, and she was bound to a wheelchair or bound in a bed.
Really?
And yeah, she was in bad shape. You've never seen the documentary?
No. No.
You should watch the documentary.
The only thing I've seen
awesome.
was the Netflix show, which I know is not a documentary, but
definitely watch the documentary. The character Machu Picchu
is based on Mount Fiji.
Is based on Mount Fiji. Yeah. Yes, and Mount Fiji. It's interesting because I'm sure that if Mr. Cornette heard me say this, he'll probably be mad at me. I love you though, but Glow for me was a huge thing when I was a kid. My dad didn't want me to watch it. I think I've mentioned this in the previous podcast that he didn't want me to watch it, and I still watched it anyway. And the thing about Glow was that it was unique. It was different. It was comedic, yes, but at the same time, I mean, it was the very first all-women's pro wrestling league. Before Power of Women's Wrestling came out, before WOW, Women of Wrestling Entertainment. That was. I
remember WOW. Yep.
Crazy, right? And Mount Fiji was like the Andre the Giant.
She was. Yep.
Or you can even say the Hulk Hogan. Her character in Glow was just lovable. She was a huge fan favorite. She was a baby face, and you can't knock her for it, man. She really made her name. She is a Glow legend. Although the first woman I ever fell in love with at a puberty stage was Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood and Vine, but Hollywood, oh my God. Oh my God.
Hollywood wasn't Ivory, was it?
No, Ivory was Tina Ferrari.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Who is still beautiful to this day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, why is she not inducted in the Hall of Fame?
In due time.
With
the way the women's movement is going in the WWE, trust me, you'll probably see multiple women inductees
I wonder,
in a year.
Would she really give respect to Glow?
Oh, I think she would.
In her speech.
Glow,
but would they allow her to?
Yeah,
That's the whole
thing. I don't see why not.
Well, Glow, in a sense, was somewhat of I can't even say it was a competitor, but it was kind of like an outlaw show.
It was. It was. Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see Ivory or maybe some Glow women in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble.
No, they're too old. They can't do it, man.
Mae Young and Moolah.
I'm sure Mae Young and Moolah could probably do better, than most of the women nowadays. I've seen some of the female talent they had, and But for on behalf of the network and the Yin and the Yang and the technical team in the back, we just want to say our condolences to Mount Fiji or Emily Dole's family and her fans for losing this legend here at only 60 years old. It's a really cry out to everyone to really take care of yourselves, guys and gals out there. Take care of yourselves the best you can, and that's all you can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about it, because I know for a fact that you've been anticipating this. You actually have the shakes right now to break the fourth wall. And speaking about breaking the walls down, yes, I did, out of respect for you, because I know you were a little mad at me this past week about, knocking the whole Chris Jericho versus the Broomstick, as I call him, who is the leader of what I now call, not the Bullet Club, they're now called the Ballet Club. All right? Between Omega, the Bucks, the Dick Man.
He's not part of the Bullet Club.
Well, he's part of the Ballet Club. He's part of that fucking flippy-do bullshit, that video game wrestling that they do. The other guy's name was Chris Taylor, who threw the invisible hand grenade that exploded 8 wrestlers in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
They're part of the Ballet
Chris Taylor,
Club.
it's Chuck Taylor.
Chuck, is it Chuck or Chris Taylor? I don't know.
Maybe Chuck Taylor. He's one half of Best Friends in ROH with Trent Beretta.
Yeah. Well, the only Trent Beretta's in ROH.
Trent Beretta right now is 1/3 of the never 6-man tag team titles.
Trent Beretta, I just want to say, how are you, brother? Plasma, as I know you, and I will always know you as Plasma, my training partner in Mikey's NYWC wrestling school. Oh. Great kid, great guy. He's a good dude. Yes, so I did, out of respect for you, so you won't be upset at me, and now I have something to talk about. I did watch all of Wrestle Kingdom. I certainly,
live?
As hell, did not watch it live. I did tape it on Saturday.
Access?
Do you? Yes. Do you have Access TV?
I don't, but I watched Wrestle Kingdom live.
Okay. So I have Access TV, and they play it a few days later.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it with JR's commentary, to be honest with you.
Right. So I did hear it with JR's commentary with this guy, Josh
Barnett.
Barnett,
yeah.
Okay, so Josh Barnett and JR did the commentary. Let's put it this way. The first match that they showed, and I don't know if this was all of Wrestle Kingdom.
I doubt it. I don't think, because Wrestle Kingdom was like 5 hours.
Oh, really? Okay, because they only showed 2 hours worth then. Yeah. So they showed the main stuff, and which is really what I wanted to see anyway. The first match that I saw, at least when I watched it and played it back, was the American Nightmare, Cody versus
Kota Ibushi.
Ibushi?
Ibushi,
is that what was that?
Kota Ibushi, yeah.
Okay, so Kota Ibushi really needs to be signed by either Impact or by WWE because that guy is phenomenal wrestler.
Ibushi was in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Well, God
Yeah.
damn it, they need to fucking sign the guy because
Um,
he is great.
Now I watched it live, and where I live in New York, it went live at 2 a.m. This is part of the 26 hours. This was the tail end of the 26 hours. I was up straight, with dozing off every now and again. So to be honest with you, as I went through Wrestle Kingdom, there were a few parts of matches I missed because I zonked out. I just couldn't help it. But there's two matches I did stay up for, awake the entire matches, and not because the others were boring. I was just physically was difficult to stay up. But Cody versus Kota Ibushi was one of the two that I was wide awake for.
That was a phenomenal match.
Cody has branched out so much since leaving the WWE and since joining Bullet Club. It's amazing, and not only Cody but Brandy Rhodes as well.
Well, oh God, Brandy Rhodes is just fine to look at.
Yep.
That is a gorgeous woman. He is one lucky mother effer. And I'm not hating on him because, I think he's a pretty cool dude. I'm sure he is a cool dude. But, that was one gorgeous woman. And I don't think a lot of the New Japan fans have ever seen a black female.
No, she's the first one.
I think she is the first. She really made history as the first African-American woman to be in Wrestle Kingdom or New Japan Pro.
Yeah, she was the first one to talk during the press conference, let alone woman, because there are no women's matches in New Japan.
Right. And they don't have a women's division.
Yeah. And usually, like, the valet that they have, they got that one valet. I forgot her name, but she dresses like a Playboy bunny. I mean, not that. Right. I mean, Brandy was revealing, but in a sexy way, not in a trampy way. But Brandy Rhodes has been.
You're kind of slow. I'm sorry, man. You say that, brother. Say that again. That piece again because you came in kind of like lagged.
Came in a little low on you. Okay. What I was saying was Brandy. Brandy she has just become her own entity, even without Cody. Which I'm not saying that in a bad way, but Brandy Rhodes is really, really like. She's taken over. I will consider her a Rhodes.
Well, she is by marriage,
but I'm
and
saying,
she is.
No, not even by marriage anymore. I meant now in the ring.
Oh yeah, she's a good wrestler.
Cody, Brandy.
Yeah, I mean, they gave her a lot of press. JR was putting her over well as a reality star, as a dancer, a figure skating competitor for 17 years. I didn't even know that she was about that. She is a model. She's done a lot of things. Yeah. So she, man, she really is in all honesty, exactly what you said. She is a Rhodes. I mean, she is phenomenal.
Yep.
Really, really good competitor.
Even good mics, a little bit good mic skills. Like the way she was talking. I don't know if they showed it on Access when she was walking down the ring. She was cutting a little bit of a promo into the camera.
Right. I also don't think that the New Japan audience knew that they were a couple until they kissed, because when they did, a lot of them like, whoa, like they were like very, very surprised by it.
Could also be just the culture not used to seeing that period.
Right. Well, I know, but what I'm saying is that they're not used to seeing interracial relationships, in Japan, because it's a very, very isolated, society in some senses. Even, and that was kind of like not taboo per se, but it was just very out of the ordinary, and it was very different for them. So, because, when you hear the Japanese fans, I mean, they're very respectful, very silent, until they see something that really captures their attention. Then they go, oh, and that's like kind of like their reaction to anything, and
but going back to the match,
the match was excellent. I mean, I'm very glad that he branched out and he's doing his own thing.
That New Japan strong style, even with some of the other matches, man, the how hard these guys hit. Sometimes you think they're like really like there was when he almost got killed taking the crossroads off the apron.
Oh, that's fucking crazy!
And landed, I literally on the top of his face.
But I think that that was very dangerous. I'm really surprised that he took it. I like the idea that Brandy inserted herself by getting herself knocked out,
Yes.
quote unquote knocked out,
Yep.
and then and as Ibushi picked her up, it was kind of like he just gave her like that big show. He gave him that big show punch.
Yep.
That just knocked him out cold. That was pretty awesome. And then you find out that they plotted it, and I think the Japanese fans got a kick out of that because that's really not. Again, it's not within their regular wrestling. It's not within their storylines.
Oh, well, that's the whole reason with the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club brought a lot of Western wrestling to New Japan.
Right.
But, in the end, Ibushi went over with the win, and honestly, he came out looking like $1 million. And I think this is going to prompt him, possibly push him to maybe a world title match this year, which I think he would certainly deserve in New Japan.
I think he's young. They may not give it to him right away, but I think that he does deserve the shot, just to basically say that he's out there, and that he's up there. The second match was two heavyweights. I forgot what their names were.
Was it the hair versus hair match?
I think it was the hair versus hair.
It was for the Never Openweight Championship. It was, it was Goto versus Masala.
That was like boring to me.
You know what it was though, like because that guy, the guy who ended up losing, shaving his head. I think he's like a legit shoot wrestler, and at one point I thought he legitly choked out Goto when he had that hangman on him on the top rope, and then Goto just fell limp to the mat. His eyes started rolling in the back of his head. I mean, either that or it was a tremendous sell on the part of Goto.
Right, exactly.
But that match is also very New Japan because those are two Japanese. You know what I mean? Very local Japanese wrestlers.
Okay.
But a good match. I thought it was a good match.
All right. The third one was the third match was Jericho versus Omega.
Oh, Alpha versus Omega.
Now,
okay.
Right. So now, but before we talk about that, let's put it this way: the main event match that they had for the IWGP Heavyweight title was horrible. I didn't like it. I felt that they should have put more emotion into it. It wasn't the build-up. Really, was not. At least on my part, looking at their promo videos and everything like that, I didn't like the way that they promoted the fight. Even though it was huge headlines in Japan.
They've been feuding for a while, Okada and Naito.
Okada is good. Naito, Jericho picked a fight with him.
I know, I saw that the next night in New Year's Dash.
New Year's Dash, right? Yeah, New Year's Dash. So that was interesting. That match I was a little bored with.
With Okada, well, first of all, Okada's right now the longest reigning IWGP champion in history, and he is just a moneymaker over there. I mean, he can do no wrong right now.
Really?
Oh yeah, Okada. And with Naito, the best thing that happened to Naito was a few years ago, he had the main event spot in Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know if it was against Okada. Maybe it was against Tanahashi. But it was for the IWGP title. And he was a face, but like people, it was weird. Like the audience didn't want him in the main event. I think the main event ended up being Nakamura and maybe Nakamura versus Tanahashi for the Intercontinental title. And there was a fan vote which match should be the main event, and Naito's match got bumped from the main event, and that's what put him into the gimmick that he has today, which is one of the best gimmicks in New Japan. This whole, Los Ingobernables de Japón, and how Naito just basically he does the thing with his eye, like the widening of his eye. Saying how like Western culture, Western traditions, the white man. And
he does that for what reason?
Like Western, like he's opening his eyes, like, oh, you want this type of wrestling, you want like that Western wrestling.
Oh, okay.
That's why he does it.
Right,
that's why he shows complete disrespect to New Japan and since then he's been Intercontinental and IWGP champion, and he kicks the belt to the ring, which is the ultimate sign of disrespect. Literally,
in that culture, yes,
kicking it down, throwing it in the air and stuff. But that gimmick has been tremendous for him.
Right.
I feel, because we don't watch New Japan often, it was a little hard for me, you're right, to get into... Well, first of all, I don't understand Japanese, so I don't know what the package was all about. I was able to make heads and tails about it with the visuals, but
neither was I.
I will also admit, at that point, it was like almost 8 o'clock in the morning, which I had gotten up at 5 a.m. the day before, so I zonked out during that match, and I woke up, next thing I know, and Okada's cutting a promo because he just won the match. So I completely missed the match, so I can't comment on that one, unfortunately. I do have to go back and watch it.
Okay. To me, the match of the night was honestly the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title.
Oh, the Fatal 4-Way?
That was outstanding in every no. Yeah. That was outstanding in every respect.
Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll, Kushida, and Tanahashi, I think his name is.
Yeah, that was a great
that match was wicked. I am a villain fan. Marty Scurll is awesome. He's charismatic. This whole villain persona is awesome, and he can go in the ring.
Right, absolutely.
And he's also dating Donna Perazzo.
Right.
Remember the one the one we met at?
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's bad enough we already mentioned Misha Tate. Let's not mention the other one now. Okay.
No, that was good. Did they show that on Access as well?
They did.
Okay, that moonsault that Ospreay did off the off the structure. Holy cow!
Ospreay is a spot monkey. He's not part of the ballet club, though. He's not part of the ballet club. I actually do kind of think he's good. So yeah, I think he's all right. And I just think he's a little bit different from the ballet club. So and by the way, let me also say that. So let's talk about. Let me also say that the interesting thing about watching this on Access was that every time the Japanese wrestlers cut a promo, I was like, oh, well, how the fuck am I going to understand what they're saying? Because I don't speak Japanese either. They did translate into subtitles, which is pretty awesome,
That's
so
better. Yeah,
I was
that's
very
what you
glad
get when it's taped. So.
Right. I was really, really glad for that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the heart of it. Now, the Jericho versus the Alpha versus Omega match was third. And at least from what I've seen out of 5.
Okay.
And in Access. So was it really co-main event?
Yes.
On your part? Okay, so it was co-main event. Okay, because I was saying, well, why the fuck
what came
did
after
they promote the hell out of this third? What came after it on Access TV was the Okada match. No, not the Okada match. The Fatal 4-Way.
Not pretty sure a co-main event. Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I have some notes that I wrote down about this match. This is the first time I'm watching Kenny Omega wrestler, so I don't really have any basis to go with him because I refuse to watch his wrestling. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me give this guy a try and let me see what the hell he has to offer, and why he's so over and blah, blah, blah. And so the first thing that stands in my mind when I was watching this match is, number one, I find it very, very surprising that a lot of the Japanese fans do not remember Jericho. Because if in his younger days, back in the mid-'90s, he competed in the Super J Cup for New Japan Pro Wrestling, between him, Benoit, Guerrero, Liger, Otani, Shinjiro Otani, Koji Kanemoto, all those guys of that era, he was there. And he was a very, very over foreign wrestler, very over gaijin. So I'm very surprised that it didn't seem like the fans remembered him. They were more excited about the flash of who he was. Like, the electrified jacket.
Yeah, it was cool to see that. Yeah.
The lit up jacket, his presence. Oh, that was amazing. I'm surprised he didn't come down with Break the Walls. But I did find out, though, he did come down with Fozzy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so I didn't know that.
He was very Jericho.
And I also didn't realize that
He was very Jericho.
What was that, brother?
He was very
very, very much Jericho, yes. Yes, I agree, 100%. I also did not realize that this was a no DQ match.
Yeah, they announced that like the day before. Or maybe like the week before.
Okay, that I did not know. Right. Now, from the very start, I'm very, very annoyed by Jericho for one thing. He looked very much out of shape.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. He did look a little...
he looked bloated.
A little doughy. A little bit.
He looked like he drank a six-pack before he went out. You know, and before a guy who claims that he does DDP yoga and eats right, you shouldn't be looking like that. I mean, this is your debut in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You know, once again returning after 20 plus years, and you look like that.
Hey, look,
granted, look, I know you're 47, but I mean, come on.
Listen, I'll take his physique any day.
Well, he was in shape for the match. Like he can go. Don't get me wrong.
It was about 30. It was a half hour the match.
Right, but what I'm saying is, you know, he has that conditioning to go, and I respect that. But at the same time, I just really felt like he should have came in better shape. You know, you don't wrestle in anything but a pair of shorts and boots. I mean, you know, you should come in and you know, be in much better shape than he did. Now, I looked at it this way, and as I'm reading this, to me, Omega barely wrestled.
Well, he was getting beat up the entire. It was a no DQ match. It was designed.
Right,
it was really designed for Jericho.
Okay, but let's put it this way: Omega did, and I wrote this down. Omega did a baseball slide, a Frankensteiner, a suicide dive, AJ Styles style, a suicide dive, a cross-legged neck breaker, the shittiest snapdragon suplex. He did 3 of those. He did a rolling heel kick. He did more knees in that match than Liz Taylor had husbands.
But that's what they do. It's strong style. That's what they do. It's like when they give him the forearms.
That bored the shit out of me. I really, really thought that he could have done more in his repertoire to impress me. The Walls of Jericho was executed more times than Harvey Weinstein sexually harassed women. Every fucking opportunity he wanted to put him in the walls. It was like, what the hell, you know? Okay, now this is where what really got to me. There was a sequence where Omega had a bottle of hairspray or whatever the hell he had in his can.
It was it's like a cooling agent for like if you're injured or something like that.
Because is that what it was?
Yeah, because in New Japan, they're very like after a match, they come down with an ice pack. They put an ice pack on the back of their neck just to kind of to calm them down, to soothe the muscles and everything. And it's almost like an icy hot spray or something like that.
Well, I didn't know what that was, but then here comes this fucking idiot basically spraying it on his hair, on his underarms, on his dick.
Yeah.
It's like that's and then that's when I started saying to myself, oh, okay, well, here comes this flippy-do bullshit. But that didn't last for long. So I was wrong about that, but I still thought that was pretty fucking stupid. Because if it was supposed to be something that was supposed to hurt you because he sprayed it like Rick Martel sprayed arrogance on fucking Jake the Snake, then why is it helping him and not harming him instead?
Because if you looked at him, he had that crazed look in his eyes.
Which was, that was kind of odd to me. But that's okay. Fine, no problem. Then Jericho carried him through the entire match to me, I really felt. I don't think that Omega really took charge much within the entire sequence, within the majority of the sequences. By the way, if you haven't noticed within this match, the majority of the match in the hardcore sense when they were doing all that stuff was only one-sided out of 4.
What do you mean?
So if you look at the match where he dropped him through the table, he did, they were around the announce tables and they were destroying that shit. And, the majority of that hardcore stuff, of that no DQ stuff that they were doing was only on one side of the ring.
Oh, literally on one side of the ring.
Yeah, literally on one side. And even JR basically said, come on, guys, there's 4 sides of the ring. If you wanted to wreak havoc and this is a no DQ match, use the other 3 sides. They're getting lonely. I kid you not, on a stack of Bibles, that's what JR said. Now, if JR is saying that's telling you something.
I feel like they were probably doing that because of the announcers. I feel like the Japanese announcers, they probably wanted to like see it or something like that.
Right.
Or something, because Jericho said something to Chono as well at one point. Because Masahiro Chono, they probably because of the thing. Masahiro Chono was doing commentary for Japan, and Jericho shouted something at Chono.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That I did not even know. No. I didn't even know that was Chono. If they actually put him on
shades.
TV.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they would have showed him, but
okay. The other thing that I noticed was, let's see. Yeah, that's really it, man. I mean, obviously the match was designed for Jericho to put over Omega, right? Because he is
the case.
Well, he is the in thing. So, and I get all that. That I didn't have I had a problem with it in the beginning, but then again, I'm surprised that they never really emphasized that they were both from Manitoba, Canada, from Winnipeg.
What? All right, hold on. That's because of the commentary. The English commentary during live Wrestle Kingdom was Kevin Kelly and Don Callis. And Callis. No, they're good.
Not a fan of Don Callis.
Don Callis, he was the one that was instrumental. It was really Don Callis that put this whole match and got this match together. And Don Callis, his commentary was very passionate during the entire match, but he said many times, he kept calling it, what is it? They called it like the Manitoba Dome, and like he kept referring to Winnipeg. So that was probably just localization because of JR and Josh Barnett. But
yeah, they didn't say anything.
Yeah, if you listen to the Wrestle Kingdom, Kevin Kelly and Don Callis, they mentioned that a lot. The fact that the two of them were from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Right. Okay, all right. Other than that, I mean, I be honest with you, I really wouldn't watch the match again.
Okay.
And I'm not impressed by Omega, be honest with you.
Here's the thing. You were already jaded going into it. And you being you're not going to open up yourself to really allow to watch the match as is. The match is one of the best matches. It's been talked about. Everyone I've talked to who watches wrestling, and not just WWE, who watches. A close friend of mine, really, he watches more indies than anything else. And he was flipping out over this match. So this match, according with the fans, it's the majority. They're the ones that dictate everything. This match is already candidate for match of the year, but you being you, because you're already shut off to Omega, you weren't going to open yourself to the match anyway.
But now, wait a minute. I gave it a chance and I watched it, and and I've watched wrestling as long as you have, maybe a few years more because I'm older than you, but I really did not find anything interesting about that match that really stood out, that really was anything ever remotely match of the year. I mean, I would have given the Fatal 4-Way a match of the year. If you want to talk about the best match of that event, I think the Fatal 4-Way would have been better.
Well, of course, the Jericho and Omega, it wasn't a scientific match of the year, just the way they told their story. That's what wrestling is. It's telling a story. And the way they told the story was absolutely amazing.
I just don't see what, I mean, I just don't see what the hype about Omega is. I really don't.
I know you don't. And that's why you're not giving them, you're not going to be able to watch the match and give it a fair shot. But Omega is the hottest thing going in Japan. He's changed the aspect of New Japan. Omega introduced the ladder match to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's introduced a lot of that Western cult. Well, it started with the Bullet Club, like with Finn Balor and all that, Prince Devitt at the time. But, Omega really for a, what do they call
So he's basically the Quentin Tarantino of fucking of
he's got
wrestling.
An edge to him. Yeah, he definitely he has an edge to him, which is never been seen in New Japan, and that audience didn't know what to do. But Omega has completely, enthralled himself into the culture. He can speak fluent Japanese. He's definitely, he's over there to make a difference. And when you listen to him in interviews, he's very down to earth. He's very understanding of the culture and everything like that. I mean, the guy, obviously, the persona on TV is completely different than what he is in real life when you listen to the podcast. But for this match, again, Omega is probably he's the uncrowned champion. The matches that he's able to put on over there and how the crowd loves him. sometimes hates him if needed because he was a face. Technically, he was a face going into this. And Jericho on the flip side. Jericho was amazing being a heel in this. Even his post-match interview. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I mean, Jericho obviously knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Jericho,
and I do have to give it to him. Omega did sell.
Jericho
Omega sold well.
You got to remember as well, and I'm not talking 50-50, but there was a lot of that audience was foreigners. Weren't just this is like I think this was like the biggest selling Wrestle Kingdom to date, not the biggest selling Tokyo Dome show. Tokyo Dome shows have been going on for over 20 years, but for Wrestle Kingdom, it's the biggest Wrestle Kingdom gate ever, as far as I know, biggest attendance ever, as far as I know, and probably I'm not even going to say a quarter because it was a lot, but for a show like this, there was a ton of Americans, Europeans, a lot of fans who traveled to go to Wrestle Kingdom. So this was a huge undertaking.
Wrestle Kingdom is their version of their version of WrestleMania.
It's their WrestleMania, and a lot of news sources are even now they're saying after this Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan's putting WWE on notice as far as New Japan's looking to take over. Not in a bad way, not in a way like WCW tried. Just
I don't think that they'll ever take over WWE.
No. When I say take over, just meaning that the popularity, like it can like Wrestle Kingdom can rival WrestleMania. Bound for Glory will never rival WrestleMania. Final Battle will never rival WrestleMania. But Wrestle Kingdom, sure as heck, can go even up. And we're going to see what happens this year. Let's compare. Let's get to April 8th. Let's get to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Let's get to WrestleMania 34. After that card is over, we can compare WrestleMania to Wrestle Kingdom, and we'll see how it goes. And also, one more thing, I'll let you go. What'd they say? Like the over 100 and something % increase in purchasing NJPWWorld.com, mostly because of this Alpha versus Omega match. Like more people purchased their network to watch Wrestle Kingdom live, so they made New Japan made money.
Well, they made money, yes, but I mean, if the Alpha versus Omega match didn't happen, you would not have that many American subscribers.
You're exactly right. You are absolutely right.
So if it was an all Japanese wrestling card, you wouldn't have gotten that buy rate.
Of 12 Wrestle Kingdoms, there's maybe only been 2 all Japanese cards.
Okay, well, I mean, will they rival the WWE? I don't know. I mean, let's see what happens. I would love to travel to Japan and be in one of these.
Oh, I would. I am saying right now.
Would you fucking travel now?
I'm telling you right now. At some point in my life, I will be attending a Wrestle Kingdom.
And fucking and have fucking Rippo as come with us because that way
I'll take free room.
That fucking guy probably speaks Japanese now. So
we go to Super Potato.
Well, oh yeah, I know you're in love with that fucking place.
But I would go to especially after this Wrestle Kingdom, I would go in a heartbeat. And now the best news is, when it is. It's January 4th every year, so you don't have to worry about planning around it.
It doesn't matter what day, just January 4th.
It's always January 4th.
Cool. Well, January 4th next year is Friday,
right? Yeah.
I could deal with that.
We'll see.
Yeah, but you see, if you're going to do that, though, if you're going to take January, I mean, you cannot fly to Japan and then just hang out for the weekend and then come back home. You got to be at least a week.
Yeah, you're flying on I can see flying January 2nd. First of all, it's going to take almost a day to get there, or half a day from the East Coast. And then, fly out 2 days before the show, fly home maybe 2 days after the show. So, yeah, you spend a good week and a half.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to go to a New Japan show. I've always said it when I was a kid, even when watching, the Muda, Hase, Jushin Thunder Liger days of New Japan. I've always wanted to go to a New Japan show one day. Tenzan,
New Japan's
Shono.
Coming back.
I grew up in that period.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, New Japan's coming back to California, which is a little closer than Tokyo, but we'll see.
No, I want to go to. I want to go to the
so
Tokyo
would I.
Dome,
I want to go
dude.
to the Tokyo. You're right. I definitely want to go to the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, definitely. Well, either way, at some point in the future, the Yin and the Yang will invade, along with our valet, Rippo. Right. So, I think it's time. I think it's time that we do our favorite segment of the show.
Oh boy.
Oh yes. And as I had mentioned earlier in the podcast, I'm a very simple guy. I don't ask for a whole hell of a lot in my life, and yet it seems though people always trying to find a way to complicate my life in some way. It's like in some manner. And like I've had AT&T now for about 4 or 5 months since September.
Okay.
And the service is phenomenal. It's certainly a hell of a lot better than Comcast. And by the way, hey, Comcast, if you're listening to this, fuck you, all right? Because Comcast sucks, and they will always suck. And I've had this AT&T service, and I pay per month between listen to this, DirecTV with NFL Sunday Ticket, my home phone, my internet, and my cell phone, I pay after taxes $178 a month.
That's nuts.
Now, you may be wondering, well, what's the problem? Well, the problem is that they were supposed to give me a discount for combining and bundling my bills, right? So for all 4 services, they can bundle it, and I pay one flat rate, and I have no problems. So the thing that is bothering me is that I kept wondering how come I kept getting a bill, 2 separate bills, one from DirecTV, one from AT&T. One from DirecTV, one from AT&T for like 5 months now. Mm-hmm. I call them, and their automated system is the most annoying piece of shit I've ever had to deal with technology-wise. To get to a customer service representative, it takes forever. It's harder to reach than the president. At the same time, you finally get somebody, and I don't want to say, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but you have these fucking foreign customer service people who don't understand a goddamn thing about anything American. They're trained in a standardized way. So you have these Filipinos who are on the line, and you can hear, because I recognize the voice and the accent and the way that they speak. And I have nothing against Filipinos, but it's like they're over there and they're not in the United States. So I'm trying to explain to them about billing. I'm trying to explain to them, I had a question about technical support, and they don't understand what the hell we have here.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that old saying that you could read as much as you want about something or somebody, but until you actually either meet them or experience that thing, you cannot really form an honest opinion. Mm-hmm. So they're over halfway around the world, and yet we're over here, and they don't understand what they don't understand what a circuit breaker is. They don't understand what like a modem is, or like a router modem, mm-hmm. Or anything like that. So it's kind of like hard to understand, and it's like so that on that aspect it's shit. At the same time, I found out that they combine my billing, because when you combine your billing, you get a discount.
Yeah.
They didn't put in my federal government discount, which bothers me even more. Now I said, is there any way that you can do a retro thing? Like, in other words, I said, I feel like I'm very inconvenienced. Is there any way out of courtesy that you can, compensate me in any manner? I said, because this is ridiculous, mm-hmm. They said they wanted to give me $30. $30 for 5 months of headache of this bullshit. Right? So between the customer service, between their automated system, and between giving me the cheapest compensation I've ever had to deal with in companies, even Comcast did better for me, if you can imagine that. You know what, AT&T, I have a question for you, since you like to, so if when you call my line, AT&T, there's, no matter what button you press, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 0, It all goes back to one thing. The question is simple. Do you know what happens when you complicate my life and make me miserable to the point where you give me 5 months of aggravation and all you give me is a sleazy $30 that's added to my next bill? Huh?
This sounds like an option too.
Yeah. Do you know what happens, AT&T? Huh? AT&T?
Oh, boy.
And DirecTV? You just got chewed out.
Wow. Hitting the monster. The conglomerate. Good Lord. They deserve it. I wasn't crazy about AT&T.
Yeah, that's true. I know you're back with Screw Rising, right?
No, actually, I'm with T-Mobile now.
Are you really?
Yeah, I've been with T-Mobile for a few months now.
Excellent. Well, Verizon sucks anyway. So
I didn't mind Verizon.
Yeah, they were all right. They weren't great,
Mm-hmm.
but they were okay. So, oh, yes, let's answer this one question that somebody had written to me earlier, and let's take some fan mail here, okay?
Okay.
So, the first question that was written is, and it basically says here, good afternoon, greetings and salutations from Colin, and he's writing to us, are you ready? From Dublin, Ireland.
Wow. Top of the morning to you.
Now, when we boosted this, I didn't realize that it reached to that many people in Ireland. Yeah. And hey, we love Ireland, man. Ireland rocks. And
greetings and salutations.
Exactly. And Colin writes, this is a great podcast. It's the first time that I'm actually reading this. Reading the description on Spreaker. It is a really, really interesting show. And I have referred it to several of my friends who are also listening as well. And my question is quite simple. Do you feel that martial arts in the Western world compares to martial arts in the Asian world? That's an interesting question.
Very interesting. You would think it'd be the same because of the teachings.
Right. I think that, and that's a great question, Colin. I thank you for the question. My personal perspective on this is it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about training, the training is very different there than it is here. And the reason why you're practicing the same techniques, same forms or katas, if you have those, same weaponry, same, sparring. However, there's a difference. In Asia, as opposed to, like, let's say in the United States or in Europe, there are laws here.
Okay.
You may not be able to hit your student.
Oh.
You may not be able to yell at your student or say certain things or have them do certain things that are part of the art because of something called laws, and jail. Whereas over there, a lot of times they still keep things in a traditional sense. It is widely practiced and done in traditional sense. There's also the idea of philosophy. A lot of our culture has a reflection as to the way that we look at things. They don't look at things the way that we do, obviously, in Asia. In Asia, it's more about, there's a lot more respect for the teacher as opposed to the way things are here, where it's kind of like, well, you're paying me and you're supposed to do what I say. Over there,
that's very Western. Yeah. I'll admit that.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you pay to play, and they don't believe in that. They believe that it's kind of like your sensei or your teacher is looked upon as a father or a mother figure.
Would you even pay over there?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
Well, they have to subsidize their school in some way, right?
True. Yeah.
But yeah, so the outlooks of both cultures are very, very different. We have students pay here because it's a business, and it's how some people make a living. Mm-hmm. When you're a martial art instructor in a lot of Asian countries, this is your livelihood. This is not something that you do for, pretty much like, it's not something that you do part-time. Whereas a lot of people here, they work a full-time job and then they open up their school,
True.
And there are some people who do it full time as a living, and that's pretty cool, you know. So that's a great question, Colin. I appreciate it. We have another one from Martha. Martha is writing to us from, believe it or not, Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
If I could be serious for a moment.
So that's not just the best. That's not just the coolest. It's from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's just incredible.
I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot.
Yeah, that was great. So Calgary, producers Martha and Martha. Are there no Americans writing this week? Martha writes and asks, what is a great self-defense art for women? Really?
Wow.
Martha, I would say to you that there is no – that's a great question. Thank you, Martha. I don't really believe that there is such a thing as a great or best art in any sense. I think it's what you have to try for yourself. Everybody's built differently. Everybody's structured differently. Everybody has different levels of fitness, endurance, the tolerance for pain. Everybody, looks at things in a very different way. And I don't think that the arts should be individualized in a sense that, that's one thing that Bruce Lee emphasizes, styles. Styles are wrong because, and we'll dive into that at some point, but really it all depends. You have to know yourself and go out and try and find something that fits you, and not just because of, and a lot of other things, come into play, scheduling, convenience, how much tuition is. So you have to really go out there and explore for yourself, The third one is a question that I wanted to address last week, which is something that one of our listeners had written to us about Master Wong. Okay. So he asked, Justina actually asked last week, what is your opinion on this guy on YouTube that has over 1 million subscribers named Master Wong? Is he legitimate or is he a fraud? Now, Larry, have you watched the Master Wong video or segment?
Unfortunately, I have not had a chance to.
Okay. So let's put it this way. The guy is half Chinese, half Vietnamese. He's based out of Ipswich, England.
Okay.
Because his family immigrated over there. He's a bald-headed Asian guy who's about probably 5'6", 5'7". He has over 1 million YouTube subscribers.
Wow.
And he does the arts of Jeet Kune Do, Tai Chi, and he does Wing Chun, right? Now, this guy is very, very outside the box because when he does a video, he sets up these scenarios and he starts off by saying like, hi, this is Master Wong, and today I'm going to show you blah, blah, blah. And throughout the course of the duration of his videos, he teaches you free self-defense. And he gives you these different situations, how to defend against a knife attack, how to defend against a gun, how to defend somebody putting you in a headlock, a choke, whatever, Yeah. Except that his approach is very different because he curses a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he curses a lot. And you may be wondering, a lot of traditionalists knock him for it because he refuses to reveal who his masters are or who his teachers are, because he said he doesn't believe in name dropping, and a lot of people think that his martial arts is a joke. You also have another side of the fence where people think that he is a huge he speaks the truth and that he's a really good martial artist. He also has another show called the Master Wong Show, where he talks about a lot of different topics and answers fan mail questions. Except he does it in a professional video. Like his video is professional, really interesting stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he does seminars, conferences around the world. So the guy is really blown up as a big celebrity. So he's more of a YouTube sensation, but he's branching out now.
Okay.
What's my opinion about him? And I am a subscriber to his show and his network. I think if you talk in terms of what he's done with the traditional arts is that he says that you cannot apply a lot of these techniques to the modern day era. So what he's done is he's actually modified a lot of the movements and the techniques to fit the modern day era, modern day world, which I find very useful because, again, if it, and he claims that really there is no style. It's just a matter of survival.
Okay.
I like that aspect, which I think is very interesting. But I think that also there's 1,000 ways we can rehearse and practice and execute a technique or a style or a form or self-defense. But there's a difference between learning it and applying it and knowing how to do it. So you may know. So in other words, like Larry, if you were to fight a really big, tough-looking guy and who knows martial arts, well, he may know what he's doing. He may know how to do it. But the question is, can he really apply it?
Okay.
If you can't apply it, you've got a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Master Wong is good for the martial art community. Now, should he be cursing and should he be? I don't agree with that aspect, even though it's very entertaining, his videos. And he does speak a lot of truth, but I think as a martial art instructor and as a master, you kind of wonder, how does this guy brand himself a master? Like, I've been doing Wing Chun for nearly 17 years. You don't see me calling myself a master. And nobody knows his level of proficiency. Nobody knows his skill level. Nobody knows who he learned from. So it's kind of like we live in a world now where you can also say that since we don't disclose, who our teachers are, everybody's concerned about lineage. And I think lineage is important because, you want to know that your lineage and what you're learning is for real. But he's not doing any of that. So he's really thinking outside the box. Now, again, it's a matter of subject. It's a matter of subject and opinion.
Okay.
So it's really to everybody's perspective. And I don't want to knock the guy. I don't have anything bad to say about him. But Larry, you should really check out one of these videos. I find them very interesting.
I think I certainly will. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So I think we've depleted the resources this week. Now, before we go, there's a couple of things I do want to take care of. I wanted to ask of you to give us an idea of what's going on in the other shows of your network, man.
All right. I kind of touched on it a little earlier in the show, but I'll go into a little more detail. So now, of course, these two shows I'm about to mention have already dropped, so you can go and listen to them when you're done listening to this one. Basically, on the better half, myself and Frank Messina, we were actually live on Facebook. More of a test run, to be honest, but it was very successful. And the live Facebook that we did, just basically we just throw it into a podcast so you can listen to it, the audio. But it was very successful, very good feedback. We had great people commenting live as we were on the show. We were kind of learning how to sometimes we forgot that there was an audience, so we kind of had to remember that because we were flying with no net, not like we could stop and edit.
Yeah.
But it was very fun. I really enjoyed doing it live. I'd like to maybe do that. I've done live with the Retro Gamers as well. Maybe one day we can go live. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
So that's basically what the better half was. And with the Retro Gamers, what we talked about this week was the I'll say the unofficial, the official go-to, not the let me try that again. The go-to store for the retro gamers for retro gaming purchases out here on the East Coast is a place called Game On out on Long Island. And I was there on Saturday, and I picked up 3 games, of which are what are typically called in the business ROMs or hacks. So they're not official released games. Well, one technically was. But, like, for example, I got a Castlevania hack that someone just recoded Castlevania and made the game a whole lot harder and a bit different as well with the levels.
Okay.
I also got a hacked version of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Right.
and a ROM version of a Zelda game that was only available through download in Japan back in the day. So never released in the U.S., so I'm really looking forward to those. So we talked about that on the show as well with the Retro Gamers, and talked about a little bit as well the expo that we'll be a part of.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So check them out on the More of the Same network. And also, one more thing I want to mention with the Retro Gamers is that we have merchandise.
That's right. I was about to mention that.
Yeah, so check it out. We want to sell merch, for crying out loud. And you can go to pro.teechip.com/theretrogamers. pro.teechip, teechip.com/theretrogamers. You can buy, with our logo on it, hats, shirts, hoodies, posters, cell phone cases, mugs, drawstring bags. As soon as we can get the clip art, we're going to sell leggings. And unfortunately, I was tasked with the challenge that if we do sell $100 worth of merchandise on that website, I will take a picture in a pair of Retro Gamer leggings.
I'm sorry, what was that? You're kidding, right?
So check out the website. Buy our stuff. So
I should just spend $100 right now just to see you do something stupid like that.
So that's what we got happening with the Retro Gamers and with the Better Half.
Hey, Mr. Ryan, if we sell $500 worth of merchandise, Larry will take a dick spot.
Wait, hey, listen, I'll take
He'll
the
take the
U-Pornplex.
dickplex for you. Yeah,
I'll take
I'm
the
sure you would.
U-Pornplex in a minute.
Yep. He wants to be part of the ballet club, sir.
I'd love to be immortalized.
God of mercy. Yeah, you'll have one thing in common with Mick Foley.
What? Come on now.
So folks, as we wind this down, we have one last thing to tackle, which is basically if you have any questions for us, please, by all means, questions, comments, shout-outs, please write us at the Yin and Yang podcast at gmail.com. Show us some love, show us some support. We thank you so much for all that you do for us, tuning in, downloading, and all that. The one last thing to do before we go, which is we are going to announce right now that, just when they thought we were out, they pull us back. Tour of 2018 starts this month, January 22nd. That is 15 days away from the time that we are recording now. In a little bit over 2 weeks, we meaning the More of the Same network, the Yin and The Yang podcast, will be invading the Barclays Center over at Brooklyn, New York for the 25th anniversary of Raw.
Yeah, brother, I can't wait. That's going to be a good one. And then February 17th in Brooklyn at Aviator Center at Floyd Bennett Field is the Aviator Retro Gaming Tournament and Expo. The Retro Gamers will be there. We have a booth. So we will be at the show. We will be live streaming. We will do a live podcast. And if you want to attend...
Where is this again?
Aviator, Sports and Entertainment Complex, Floyd Bennett Field.
Oh, yeah.
In Brooklyn.
Okay.
Brooklyn, New York. Saturday, February 17th. And right now, I will tell you, if you use the promo code at checkout, Retro Gamers Pod, you will save 20% on an adult ticket, or even, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, on entry fee into the tournaments. There's 5 different tournaments going on. There's an MLB Slugfest tournament that's going to be happening. There's going to be an NFL Blitz tournament that will be going on. There will be a NBA Jam tournament. They will be doing an NHL 94 tournament. And they will be doing a WWE No Mercy tournament.
Oh, I know you two bastards are in.
So check it out.
How many times we've played that?
Promo code Retro Gamers Pod to save 20% on adult tickets. Check it out. Search on Facebook and on the for Instagram, the Retro Gamers or Aviator Sports. And definitely go. It's going to be a fun time. We got some people heading there. It's going to be some good stuff.
So we have 3 dates just announced. Actually, 4 dates just announced. Next week, I will be personally in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the AFC divisional game between the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I will be there. Once again, just find the only Asian guy in the entire stadium because there's no other Asian people that like the Steelers apparently. There are 3 more dates just announced. On April 29th of 2018, we will be at Chiller Theater at Parsippany, New Jersey.
Yes, making our return.
Yes, absolutely. I cannot wait for that. And then at the Ramada Plaza, now not known as whatever the hell they were known as before, it's now known as the Ramada Plaza in Monroe, New Jersey. Saturday, June 9th, 2018, we will be at the Legends of the Ring 26th edition.
Ooh.
So
Hopefully
that will definitely be there.
Hopefully I won't be thrown out this time.
Well, or be called an internet troll, right?
No, an internet bully.
Oh, and an internet bully. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Lastly, folks, the other thing is that in October of 2018, I am going to announce it one time right here. Maybe more than one time throughout the year, is that the reason why I'm working out and eating right and taking care of myself is because in October of 2018, I want to enter one last Kung Fu tournament before I retire.
Wow.
So in October 2018, I am considering putting my name in the ballot for a full contact.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm actually training for this right now as we speak. It's in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, wow.
So I want to see if I've got it one more time. So will the 2-time USW heavyweight champion of the world have what it takes to go back into the competitive circuit just one more time? For me, man, I'm going to really approach it more as the Rocky Balboa concept, which is really to don't care if I win or lose. I just want to be a part of it. I just want to be able to see if I can hang with a couple of these young kids represent my brand line, which is Centerline Martial Arts, and see exactly if I still got it.
Absolutely. I think you do. Seeing that you're the lineage of Ip Man, we'll see what I think so, brother. Good luck.
Well, thank you. And hey, man, if you ever want to fly out to Dallas, Texas with me, you're more than welcome to. You know that.
Can I be your cut man?
Absolutely.
Oh, awesome.
I actually will need a team of about 2 or 3 people. So,
Well, if you need someone just standing there, I'm good to go.
No, I want you to walk down that aisle, strut with style. I want to come out with like the Johnny V. Bad, thing with a bad blaster, right? And then come out with a robe that says, let's not sit down, let's get down. Or like the one where he has like, when you're hot, right?
Oh,
Come down to the Johnny B. Bad theme music. And be like,
here comes Johnny B. Bad.
Exactly. I came here to rock and roll, strut and stroll, and drive the girls out of control. And to also eat some Dallas barbecue.
There you go.
And their steak is damn good over there too. So afterwards, man, I'm going to be feasting.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
That's why I'm preparing myself, man. 10 months from now, so let's see what happens.
Absolutely.
All right, guys and gals out there. Larry, anything before we go?
No, that's pretty much it. I'm ready to go. I need to take a nap. I'm tired.
Oh, thank you so much, guys, and we appreciate it. And Larry, where can we can choose Commandos and Mormons militants and our new listeners for the year who have just joined us? Where can they find us on social media?
Facebook, just do a search, the Yin and the Yang podcast. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, just search the Yin and the Yang podcast. We're also on YouTube, Spreaker, Amazon Alexa, and iHeartRadio.
All right. And if you want to subscribe to Larry's tag is?
More365, MOHR 365.
There you go. And just want to ask of everybody, please take care of yourselves. Bringing the new year right by starting great habits. Take care of yourselves, guys and gals out there. Eat right, be balanced, be zen. And above all else, just take care of you and the ones around you. We love you. We'll see you next week. And you can't teach that. Peace.